Right.
We'll make better decisions.
Okay, it's 5:30. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Regular Board of Selectmen meeting, October 6th, 2025 at 5:30 PM. At the table, we have Selectwoman Jude Reed, Selectman Jim Lampos, and we have various members of our town and our fellow town in line visiting today at our meeting, as well as some people from the media. Okay, so first thing is information items, communications and correspondences. I want to just mention a couple of things that I received. If we choose, we could put one of these or two of these on the agenda for today. Otherwise, we may need a special meeting later on this week. I did receive a note from Jen Datum on behalf of the registrars, and I'm just going to read it. But although we included pay for the registrars for early voting in our budget, I did not annotate this detail in the budget narrative. This memo is to notify you that as with the November 2024, we had 14 days of early voting prior to Election Day on November 4th, 2025. Since same-day registration is part of early voting, a registrar is needed to be present for all hours of early voting. We will fill out timesheets for hours worked and submit them with our payroll. In the future, we will be sure to annotate on our budget to include registrar pay for early voting hours. Please let us know if you have any questions, and it's signed from Kathy and Jen, both registrars. I was under the impression when we did the budget that we were aware of this, but Anita wanted this to be a pass through from us, if at all, so we can move this to put on the agenda to approve it. Or if not, if we're just okay, because they already did finalize everything in their budget, we just allow them to continue as such. Last year, we voted on it because it wasn't in the notes at all, because they added it after.
What is Anita's preference?
Anita just said she thought because we did it last year, we should do it again this year.
Okay.
But she didn't have a positive or negative. She just, well, she's actually on, but we can do it. So we should just add, well, it can add it to the agenda, but let's just, there's one other thing that we should add. So we'll do both. The other issue that we would have to add, and we should, is the Point of Woods Boat Basin Bulkhead Restoration Project. And I do have paperwork on both of this for both of you. Mike Carey has been working, and there was some miscommunication between two lawyers, theirs and ours. But basically, if you remember back in, I think it was 22, they did, I think their east wall of the bulk boat basin down in Point of Woods. And this year they would be doing the west wall. So basically what has to happen is that they would be bonding $275,000. We have to have a town meeting for it, even though they pay for it, sort of like our referendum for our sewers. So basically what they would like us to do is to vote on this. It does not need to go to Board of Finance, but this would move this to a town meeting. They will pay as they did before, for the posting of this in the newspaper, etc. So basically, I would like to include this and move this to our agenda for today, just unless you have a problem with it, because I would just like to get this started for them because they're working with banks, etc., to get their funding.
I've gone to the second page. Are we anticipating a town meeting in October?
We are not. We would have to set that.
Is there any other reason to have one in October?
There was one other item that might be considered, but I am not sure if that will come to light or not.
I have no problem with what they're asking. My concern is having a town meeting before the end of the month.
Well, I think we can pretty much assure it. We just need the right number. I don't see a problem having it. It's gonna be quick and furious. The people that will come will most likely be from Point of Woods. And like I said, this is not really, we're not liable for any of this bonding. It's just a pass through because of what they have to qualify for as a quasi municipality.
No, it's not us taking out the bond. We're not bonding it. We're just giving our consent to have them bond.
We're granting their request, yes, because of the Connecticut general statutes. So
Is there a time limit that this has to be approved by? I know
Like
they'd rather it sooner than
they would
later.
like it sooner than later because of, but if we do, we need to move it, I can move this to a special meeting, but we have to have it before the 20th. We need to,
October?
yes, we have to act on this before they
We
need.
as a board, not as a
Yes, like
town.
we would have to go to a special meeting within the next few days, special meeting to act on this so that they can start this process because they're basically, there's a very low tide in November and I'm sure they have their contractors ready to go. They want to get in there and start this work in the off season. So they need to get their bonding into place and everything going so that they can get moving. So we would be holding them up from construction. They have their bids, they know what they have to do. They've already done this once. We've already done this once for them. And
Is there a cost for the town meeting? I mean, this is just come in, show of hands, we're done.
right,
Okay, and we can hold the meeting just for this one item.
sure. So if someone would like to make a motion, we can put those two other things on the agenda, the registrar's salaries and the Point of Woods bulk basin bulkhead restoration project.
I'll make a motion to put the Point of Woods boat basin bulkhead restoration project bonding and the registrar's salaries on today's agenda.
Okay, and where would you like them in new business under F and G?
Yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, so we'll start with Point of Woods and then we'll do registrars is G. Okay, any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of adding these two items to the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, hearing none, motion passes. Okay. The other thing to let you know is I received some very sad news today. But I had a visit today from Wayne Collins and he is retiring as of November 1st.
Wow,
So we are losing Wayne from our police.
that's unfortunate.
That's terrible.
And so we had a great conversation and he'll get all his paperwork in play and move through and we'll have, and also just so that you know, we also have a interim resident state trooper. His name is Tim Ryan. He came to meet me last week and he's been very receptive and very responsive to my texts, emails, whatever it is. I've had questions for him. There's still no notification on a vetting process for a new resident state trooper for us. Once I hear that, I will let you know. Another issue is that there was some discussion, Haynes Park, just so that you're aware. It appears that back like 4 years, 3 to 4 years ago, the whoever is 571-594-3437. Please mute yourself. If you are 571-59. Katie, can you please mute that last person? Like it's feedback. Katie, are you aware? Okay, we'll see what
Hi
happens.
there, were you calling me?
Yes, can you please mute the person who's 571-594? They're not muted and there's feedback coming in. Thank you. Okay. So when they were doing the cross lane playground, they got a quote for a playground for Haynes Park, and it was brought up at the last Board of Finance meeting. Did this go out to bid? So we had to do some research and we found out that it did not go out to bid. And it is, so I do have, hold on.
You're talking about the playground now at Haynes Park or Cross Lane?
Haynes Park. So it, Cross Lane went out to bid.
Mhm.
Well, no, because it was done by the Junior Women's League. It
Right.
didn't have to be. But it did not. And so they had the vendor at the time put in a quote. They've held that quote for them for all these years. And then they started to do some work and at meetings, and we became aware of it. And so at Board of Finance, it was asked, and BJ and I met with Don Bugby to discuss how this had been handled. And Don explained that he was not aware of the bid process, although it was enacted back in 2019 and revised slightly in 21. But he had never been told by previous finance director or anyone that he would have to do this. So the order had already been placed about 5 weeks ago, and it is in, I did contact the salesperson and the company, and it is in full swing. BJ and I don't want to see an issue for the salesperson or the company, which has held this quote for us. It was a mistake. They didn't mean to do it. And the company did say that we could work with them on the installation fees if we wanted to get some of the engineered wood fiber and have Public Works do some of the after work after they install it. So they were hoping to do this, but this is really and truly just a pass through, just to let you know what's been going on. And that's where we are. And if we can talk about it if later under general discussion, if we want to have more issues on that.
I have only one comment on it. Now that we have an HR department, are policies and procedures like that shared? And do we ensure that our department managers are aware of things like this now? I see that it wasn't then, but I would think that'd be part of the job.
The policies really should be handed out to every chair.
Yes.
It is, I believe, in our boards, authorities, boards, commissions handbook.
Mhm.
And there is a bid policy and it is noted. Anita is wonderful about working with individual chairs, and we haven't had this problem before. And this was from number of, they thought they had the go ahead to go. And they went.
No, I get it, but the department chairs now,
We're going to make sure they're aware
Thank you.
before budget season or any other project, but
thank you.
most people are aware of it because they usually give us the RFP. Or they come in and say, could be over 20, and they go out for quote. We go out for quotes now all the time for everything else. So
How long did they hold that bid for?
5 years, 6 years?
years, something somebody said it was like 4 years. They've just been on the back burner. So I think that's all I had for communication and correspondence. If there's anything, Jude,
I'm good. Thank you.
Tim?
Just what everyone else has received.
Okay. Okay, comes time for public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who would like public comment? Hearing none, we'll go to the phones. Anyone online that would like public comment? Please send us a raise your hand, let us know, unmute. Mary Daly, would you like to provide us with public comment this evening? Go ahead, Mary, unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to acknowledge to the three of you that 2 years ago, when you came to the Shoreline Community Center and you campaigned there, all three of you, in my opinion, have kept your campaign promises, and we appreciate that. Because Jude, you promised to listen, and you certainly have. And Martha, you promised to hear us also, and to ensure that Soundview was represented on the WPCA, and you have accomplished that. And Jim, you have gone over and beyond all expectations. And you to affect and to ensure that Soundview is treated fairly in the sewer project, and we so appreciate your efforts.
Thank you,
That
Mary.
said, I'm so looking forward to hearing the report from the accountant that again, you went the extra mile to retain. I can't wait to hear what the findings were, what the differences are as to what we have been told in the past and what the accountant has come back to you with, and the details of what's included and what has been excluded in the EDU figures. So thank you all again, and I look forward to hearing the report today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else online who would like to speak for public comment? Okay, not seeing anyone jumping in. That will end public comment, and we'll move to approval of minutes for September 22nd, 2025. Are there any changes that either one of you see for these particular minutes?
I have only one correction.
Sure, what page?
It's the third page if you print it out.
Yeah.
And number 8 under old business,
Mhm.
second line. It reads, the town took in lieu of taxes in 2003, in lieu of taxes.
Uh-huh.
So those 4 words, you've repeated it
Yeah.
before taxes and after the taxes.
Thank you, Jen. You're very thorough.
And that's about it. That's all I have.
Jim, did you have anything?
I do not.
Okay, so we will make that one change. Thank you, Jude. Good pickup. I did not pick that up when I read through it. Going too fast. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from September 22nd, please?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes of September 22nd.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those to approve the minutes of September 22nd, 2025, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, we move on to our next item, which is the accountant's report, which you both received copies of electronically.
I missed it.
Okay,
Okay.
you got it, right?
I do.
I sent it to both of you. All right, Jude. Katie.
Yes,
I'll share with Jim.
I won't breathe on you
That's
or
okay.
the papers.
It's all right.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. No, sorry. This is not you yet.
This is sewers.
If you want to get into sewers, we use you. Okay. So basically, this came from Martin Henry, who, and HRT advisors, who, sat down with Steve Tsunami and sat down with me and sat down with Jim and considered the information. We provided them with copies of the IMAs with East Lyme and New London. We gave them information from all of the bidding that had been done for this project and asked him to come and sit down. And he was here for about 2.5 hours, and then he had some further phone conversations to ask a few questions and a few emails. So basically, the first part of this is that he just goes through what they did, and then the results of the analysis. And I'm just going to read it out loud because I know there's people that have this, but this will be in our minutes and could go through. So basically, the results of their analysis was that we recalculated the results using both a 5% construction contingency and an 8% construction contingency. They did do research into those types of things, and that's noted in their letter prior to. The WPC calculation has an error in it that the forced main and bioxide is shown at 9, no, it should be 9
million, right?
million $893,723. The correct number is $9,863,723.
Okay, so $30,000.
Yes.
Okay.
The WPC calculation also used an incorrect number for the pump station of $4,096 and I'm sorry, $4,096,770. The bidder has backed out, and now the lowest bidder is Raymaker bid at $4,817,700, which they used in their current calculation. We do not see that construction period interest is included in the WPCA analysis. We included it in our analysis, and the result of our analysis and calculations per EDU are as follows.
Wow.
So basically, using a 5% construction contingency and including annual cost per EDU for the infrastructure connection in London and East Lyme, as well as total construction, the total charge would be $2,241. And those same calculations using an 8% construction contingency is $2,292. So a little bit more than what they did. And
So
they
it's
also,
$51. Yeah.
they gave us 2 pages. Why is this one not 2 pages? Oh, back to back. And they gave us 2 pages with the contingency at 8 and 5 with all the costs that they included. These will be in our minutes. They will be posted on the website. I will have it posted on the WPCA website tomorrow so that people will be able to view them.
I'm happy to see that they're not, I know there's a difference, so maybe errors or not considering things, but the difference is $51, am I correct?
Well,
Plus the annual cost.
Yeah, there's a couple things I'd like to point out when they're talking about operations and maintenance
Are not included.
are not included. They
Right.
use the same plugin that I accepted from Deep because they didn't consider themselves qualified. I didn't consider myself qualified to break it out. I thought it would be a lot more. And Martin Merritt does have qualifications and
Yep.
it is a lot more in his estimate. But I accepted the 565 per year, the Deep estimate.
You did?
Yeah. So when I did my numbers and I ran them by Steve, Steve had intended to present $1,932 per EDU as the cost. And my analysis was $3,026. And that's what I thought Steve and I had agreed that would be presented at the town meeting. Steve said it was a misunderstanding. He ended up presenting $1,932 and I object. And that's when we began this process with the accounting. So when we take the new the HRT advisors estimates, we take and let's use the 5% contingency. We're not doing the 8% yet. So $2,241 for construction. We add $565 operations and maintenance. And using the very low ball estimate that Steve Tsunami accepts of $5,000 to connect the house to the street, that's $250 a year. So we come to the all-in cost in the HRT analysis of $3,056.
Okay.
And mine was $3,026.
$3,056 as opposed to $320.
$326 was my analysis. Steve presented $1,932.
Okay.
So I just want to state clearly, since we do seem to be talking to Deep through the press, at least that's what I'm told, that I was right. And there was a reason to go through this process, and we've not delayed this by 1 minute. We're still working on the CSA. And the town hasn't delayed that process for 1 minute. So the analysis that we went through was justified, and we are in agreement with the accountant. And I believe that that should be our official presentation.
Thank you. I have no dispute with that. I mean, I think it was a good exercise.
You want to take, no, your mic. You might want to.
I agree with that, and I have nothing to dispute. I think it was a worthwhile exercise. It's always good to have a third party and another set of eyes look at it, so.
I think, they spent about 2 weeks on the project, not full time, but
No, but I was,
I'm really glad that we had someone who came in
unbiased helps.
unbiased, did not have, and we will go from there with that information. But right now on the agenda, that's what we were talking about, accountants report, but we do have the sewer project updates and the old business. Into the conversation there. Okay, next up is, are you okay with moving on?
Yeah.
Both of you?
Yeah, you okay with me keeping this?
Yeah.
I'm sure you sent it, somehow I missed it. Thank you.
Okay. All right, this information I am passing on to you was discussed at the Park and Rec Commission. The Rogers Lake Authority has been renting space at a dock in Rogers Lake for a number of years from a person who owns the property, owns the dock, and they rent the space to the patrolled boat for the season. Mark Hastings is trying to be proactive as the person at some point in time may be selling the property. And if so, that would mean that the new owners may not want to be renting the dock to the Rogers Lake Authority. This would also have to go through the Lime Board because there are costs that we share here. But so Mark has requested of the Park and Rec facility that we put in a dock, and you can see it here on this second page, which is a diagram. And the dotted line that you see going across the top is what we would call that basically could be, it's not a property line, but it's called riparian rights. And they are working with the property owner to see if they're bothered by that at all.
Okay.
This has not been approved yet by Park and Rec, but I want you to be fully aware of it, because what we would want to do is approve this prior to December 31st. Because they get a discount if they place the order in 25. Now, we've also spoken to the Board of Ed, Region 18, because this also has the chase boat. Everything else about the patrol boat will stay the same. It will be moved every year and be housed at Public Works. It will be taken care of by Reynolds to winterize it. So the nicest part is too, for our patrol boat drivers, they'd actually be able to get off at the park and go to the bathroom, because they don't have that option with our other dock. So the entire cost for this is $8,724.98, which on our first pass, Ian Advisor and I both said this is a good thing. It will ensure the dock will go in and out at the same time that the other docks do. It is from the same company. So there are a few things that Bob Dunn wants to check into, but this would be coming to approval. I would personally like it if we could approve it today, just to say that we would approve this purchase should it be approved by Park and Rec. Because
But a couple of questions. This is adjacent to the dock that they're using.
two docks that we're using.
So-
You'll see the two docks.
From the graphics here, it doesn't show exactly where it is. So I just
owns-
want to make sure it's if I'm looking at the boathouse from the basketball court, it's to the right of it.
Yeah, this is,
Okay.
this is like the driveway
Mhm.
where it comes
Okay.
down next to the boathouse.
Alrighty.
And this
And-
would be on town property.
Yeah, that was my next
Yes,
question.
it is on town property.
So,
That's just that area of the water, which is riparian rights. We have someone here who works in the water. Maybe he knows more about riparian rights than I do, but,
so we're hoping not to interfere with someone else.
right.
Okay,
And,
great.
I believe the owner is Ginny Weiss. She's been contacted, but I don't know
Okay.
if they've had a conversation yet.
The owner of the current dock?
No,
Okay,
no, the owner of the current dock knows that we're thinking that we would be moving. Mark's talked to him. That what we're talking about, Jim, here is at the top where you see the two boats,
right,
Mhm.
that waterway, that's all water.
right.
It's
Yep.
just that when you get into how many feet from the house and their houses, that they have what they call riparian rights.
Um,
And that would have to be, they'd have to get approval for that. So that's up to the Rogers Lake Authority. That is not our responsibility to do.
Mm.
I don't think we need to approve it. I think we need to let them know that we're looking favorably on it. I
We
mean,
can do that. We'll need to move quickly once it goes through, but,
is
they
there
will move.
timing on this?
Yeah, they want to get the order in as quickly as possible. They've been told by the company that there could be tariff issues, et cetera, that they are looking at. And they offered them a 10% discount if they could get it in before the holidays in December, which is fine.
Does this represent the 10% discount?
I do think you can see that. It's a
Yep.
US rowing discount,
Okay,
at
And-
$149.
got it. And I would expect that line would be responsible for about 20%, which would bring our cost down to about $7,000.
No, because we would split. This would be split between the rowing thing. So the first thing we'd have to do is split it in half. 8,724 is split in half.
Great.
School system us.
Excellent. And then our percentage.
45,
So we're talking $3,000,
100 will be split 20.
80/20.
I don't have it off the top of my head either.
It
That-
might be as high as 50.
Is it?
I
Okay.
don't remember off the top of my head.
I don't either. And that I just went by the school.
It would be split.
Exactly.
And
So-
so Rogers Lake Authority has to go to Lyme. Rogers Lake has to make sure that they confirm all
Mhm.
this. But if, I just wanted Mark Hastings to know that we would be favorable
Mhm.
moving forward and we can pass this at a meeting quickly for
Right.
them and get it through Board of Finance. I will also notify Board of Finance of this possible expense. Because of course it was not budgeted.
But if it would
Right.
cost us only a few $1,000s.
Right, and
Great.
and Mr. Shyness, I'm sure will let us know exactly how much we will be owing for it within days. So that would be great.
And what's in
Thank you.
this, what's in this location right now? How's that?
We have a dock
how's
there.
that- Okay,
The dock that is there is in sort of disrepair and they are hoping to replace it.
Okay.
So there was some discussion about some additional docks that they had bought, but the ones that they bought are the 40-foot docks
Mhm.
in width. Those are too big for this. This one is 45 or 48 inches in width, and it's just the perfect.
So there's no permitting involved. We're just adding to the dock. that's-
Again, Rogers Lake has to go through all of that,
Perfect.
and they're handling everything. They're checking all their boxes.
So it's on the radar.
Do you have any other questions, Jim? Okay, so I will tell them that we didn't see any big issue with this and we'll see when they are ready to go. All right, next thing up is the final accounting report for the senior center. And we have Alan and Jerry here, and I have copies for both of you so that you can see this and we can close out
Here
the
you go.
senior center.
Can't reach. All right.
Oh,
Sure.
That's,
Thank you for being so patient with us. We
No.
appreciate you coming all the way down.
oh, I enjoyed
All the
it.
way.
Appreciate you going all the
Change
way
of
down.
atmosphere, change of topics. It's refreshing. It's invigorating. Makes me happy to go back to mine.
Okay, well, you know who we are, but I just want to introduce us for the rest of the people in this room. I'm Jerry Baker. I'm Chair of the Lima Lions Senior Center Renovation Committee, Building Committee. And Alan Shinas is also a member of our committee, but also the Chair of the Board of Finance for Lime. What we did at 4 o'clock is go to Lime and present the same report to them. And what we are asking is that you take a look at the final costs and know that two things that are very important for us and we feel very good about. We came in on schedule with the project and we came in $172,651 under budget. If you look at the extreme right-hand column on the green at the top of the first page, you'll see that.
Yep.
What we also were able to do is break out for you, and remind you that both towns also received a $500,000 steep grant from the state of Connecticut. Lime informed me when we were at this meeting at 4 o'clock that they've already received their grant, and asked me if I knew if Lime has received theirs. So I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anita would know.
I think Anita put in for it as soon as she got to the point where she
Yeah.
could. So Anita, you're online, but I'm quite sure that we have received our reimbursement for our grant, correct?
Correct.
Thank
Great.
you.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, so this final cost column in the middle, 6,251,000, that's before having received the million. So the net cost to the two towns was 5,251,000, well underneath the amount that we had budgeted in total.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then on the last page, Alan, you just had,
So the last page, what I did was I pulled the slide that we used in the special town meetings, the two of us, so that you could corroborate that indeed the middle column that the towns approved with the extra 880 is the same thing that I'm counting as the budget.
Yeah.
There's some minor differences in line items, which is why the second page is there. Because when we got the final GMP, they pulled some costs out that were not necessary. And having had the 6,000,004 already approved by the two towns, I posted that reduction in GMP cost to the contingency. So that,
Mhm.
and in the end, we didn't spend it because we came in 172,000 under budget.
Well, thank you.
Perfect.
Can you run our other projects too?
I'd be happy to.
Great,
I have
thank
all the time in the world for you.
I think we're done.
I'm trying hard on the, on Region 18 as well.
I know you are.
We have the
Thank you.
same level of inspection that we do on the numbers.
And I think it's nice to note too, that Alan is the chair of the private 501c3 board of directors for Friends of the Lime Senior Center, and I just joined that board as well. So we'll be raising money for the programs.
Excellent.
we cannot thank you both, plus your committee, for all the work and the hours that you put in for the many years. I can't remember. It's like 5 years.
5 years, 7 months, and 12 days.
I remember Jerry stepping down as chair of the senior
Less
center
for
saying,
me, so.
I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore.
Well,
Thank
yeah,
you.
Yeah,
Thank you for not walking away.
Oh, no, but I need to thank both towns, everybody in both towns. This has been such a wonderful joint effort by everybody to get this done because it was not only needed, it was deserved. So I thank you.
And it is a beautiful.
But
facility.
Yeah, it's
the absolute
gorgeous.
best part is they love it. Like how many times you do a project and at the end, people are
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but we didn't do this and then
No.
we didn't do that. And they pick it. Everybody loves it. And
I had lunch there on Friday.
It's wonderful.
Everybody was happy. No one was bitching and whining and complaining. They were
So
very
pretty
proud
and
of it.
clean and yeah. And
And it's not institutional.
No.
It's light, airy. I mean, the whole project was designed so that it would not be an institution, but be more like home.
I walked in there and a woman was at the door, told me she goes there every day for coffee rather than going to Coffee's Market or something. She told me her name. And I said, that's funny. I went to high school with a woman named Barbara Griggs. She said, that's me.
that's great.
I hadn't seen her in 53 years. So
That's
it's
a
a
little bit
good
hard to
place.
believe in this town.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I
No,
can believe that.
But I didn't go to school in this town. Went to Old Saybrook all the way across the river.
Yeah.
But it was nice because people were there to meet each other, see each other and socialize, not just
Absolutely.
for a function.
Yeah.
So thank you.
It's a prideful thing.
So I guess my only last question is, I mean, I'd like to inform the members of building committee eventually that we're sunsetting the committee. Do we need to do this report for anybody else?
I do not think you do.
Yeah.
I think you should send it to
We've done that. We've shared it.
you've shared it with your committee.
Oh, yeah, we haven't, no,
This-
we
Oh,
haven't
they
shared
didn't,
this.
this top sheet, they
No,
didn't, no, we just
haven't
told them
shared
we were
that.
doing
I wanted
this.
to get through this.
So I
Okay.
think that you should definitely share it
Oh,
with
I
your
will.
committee, and then we will officially sunset you. I don't think we need to take a vote on it, but I'm pretty sure that it's okay to sunset
And
them.
also share it with the both boards of finance if you haven't already done so.
Tuesday
So
night on my agenda.
Good.
Mhm.
Yeah, ours will be next week.
Mhm.
I can.
It will
send
be
you
next week.
And if you want to come in on remotely, you can.
I'd be happy to, but if we conflict because of my own Board of Finance meeting,
Just send a
Tuesday
copy.
yeah,
Next
Tuesday
week, too.
night.
What time are yours? Is yours?
Oh,
Or 7?
We're 6:30.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of conflicts, but I think it's so,
Copy.
I think it's
it
pretty.
speaks for itself. I don't, and if there are questions and they require me to come to one to answer them, of course I will do it.
What's the date again?
If you come again, they're going to recruit you for something else.
Yeah, okay. Tuesday.
14th.
Yeah, 14th.
This time of year, your Board of Finance meets more often than mine. So between now and the end of the calendar year, if you needed me in to talk about it, I'd be happy to do it. It's no problem.
Okay.
It's a 5-minute ride.
Okay.
All
I
right.
think it's great.
Job well done.
Thank you.
Yes,
Wonderful
thank you. Hats
project.
off.
All right.
I hope
Maybe
you
2 weeks and we're looking
celebrated
into another one.
somehow.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
It's great to have meetings where it's all good news.
Yeah, we love it. All right. So new employees to town hall. Katie is training 2 new clerks today, but we also have 2 new people in town hall. We have Rachel Peterson, who is upstairs doing waste and recycling coordinator. And she is here on Mondays and Fridays all day long. So she has been very active in reaching out to Rivercog. She's reached out to Bailey Drone about composting. She's working on getting an analysis of all the waste cost for the town through CWPM. She met with Fred Behringer from the Waste and Recycling Committee this morning, and they went over Fred's spreadsheets that he's been keeping over the past number of years. And she's been to one waste and recycling meeting where they sort of set her out on charges of things that they wanted her to do. And she has been busy. So
She's had rave reviews.
yes, and she's a wonderful person, and they found her and they just cannot say enough good things about her. So, and then we have a new town nurse, Sammy
What's her name?
P.A.T.
PH?
She was Sammy Ward, and she lives on Roland Road. She's town nurse, and the Visiting Nurse Association has hired her, and we are going into an agreement with them that they've hired her. They have the money to pay for her. So our labor attorney is just writing up a very short agreement of the things that they will pay for. They're buying her a computer. She will get our an email address through us at $4 a month, which I figured was a cost that we could absorb. And she will have a town phone in the office. As you know, the Old Lyme Visiting Nurses Association paid for all the furniture in the nurse's office at the senior center. So we are very happy that they have found someone that can be there. Sammy is there from 10:30 to 12:30 every day doing blood pressure checks. Today, she reported at the BNA meeting that in the month of September alone, they did 110 blood pressure checks. Those are just the blood pressures, but then she saw people on top of that.
Did you say Sammy or Sandy?
Sammy, Sammee. She's
Okay. Okay, great.
And she is also the athletic trainer at the school system.
That's what I had
So
heard.
she's out and about doing that as well. So those are all positive things happening here in town as well. Okay, Emergency Operations Center Furniture Cost. Did I copy these? I think I did. Yes, I did. I made you copies. So there was also some discussions with Dave to make sure that he was following the bidding process, and he is under $20,000. So he is giving me this sheet of what I didn't include all the descriptions of the furniture. I didn't think we needed that, but this is the furniture that he intends to purchase and will keep it under 20,000. He has already ordered one credenza and another cabinet that he had to have so that they could start the installation of the IT wiring. So his total cost for furniture is $16,845. So that is where he stands on that. Any questions on that for Mr. Robert, who's not online, but I can send the questions to him.
So the upper group is for cost, what's down below? Rolling chair. It's just a more detailed description of the
Yes.
items. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know why he called them different things, but he said
No, that's right. One has more.
more detail than the other.
You must be very pleased.
He appears to be. And we should be having a grand opening of the Emergency Operations Center at the beginning of November. Somewhere, I think before Veterans Day, they're hoping.
Oh.
CO should be in his hands sometime this month. And then the IT department not our IT department, but the IT company that's doing the wiring will be in the building doing that. Okay, so now we move on to Point of Woods, which we added to the agenda. So as they said, we're trying to restore the west wall. The east wall was restored in 22. And the plan is to restore the south wall in 2029. Their property owners have approved this work, and the work would commence in October. That is why they're asking for this to go through quickly. And so we really should work on this today. It's estimated to be $750,000, but will be partially funded by a bond from Diamond Bank. Otherwise, Point of Woods has already a commitment letter for them for $250,000. And you can get more information by their website. So this is the exact same thing that we did for them back in 2022, and it did go to a town meeting. And as it says in the resolution, we are not liable at law for any debt of the Point of Woods organization. And it's consent to bond. This is literally something that we have to do because of the Connecticut General Statutes 7-372.
I'm in favor of.
Would you like to make a motion, Jude?
I'd like to make a motion to move the Point of Woods Boat Basin Bulkhead Restoration Project to a town meeting, so they can secure their financing for this project.
I will second.
Thank you, Jim. Jude, thank you, Jim. Okay, and we will set the town meeting date with Vicky once we make sure that we have followed all the statute guidelines as to when it needs to be appointed. And I will let both the lawyers for the town of Old Lyme and the Point of Woods Association know that we have approved it. Any other discussion on that? Okay, call for a vote. All those in favor of moving funding?
Aye.
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 Any abstentions? Anything? You threw me
Tongue
off.
twister this afternoon.
Voted before I did it. All right.
Oh,
so
sorry.
Motion passes. All right. the next thing is our registrars. And Jen is here, so she can answer any questions, but basically they did budget for it. They just didn't make notes in their budget. And Anita wants us to be fully aware that they did because of this additional requirement of early voting. So can we have a motion to approve them being paid throughout the early voting for the additional 14 days, which is already in their budget?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of allowing the registers to work 14 early voting days
I'm in favor of paying them.
and paying them,
Yeah.
please signify by saying aye.
I,
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Any abstentions? Motion passes. And from now on, you will put that in your budget and we won't have to vote on it every year. That would be perfect. No. Because it's already in the finance
Already done.
budget. I will make note in my meet notes to them next week that it's done. Grassy Hill Bridge project update, just to let you all know that there have been a couple of people with easement questions, looking for compensation on their property. Eric, Callahan has been working with them, my understanding is because it is a state DOT project where we receive funding, if someone wants to get compensated for their project, they have to go out and have an appraisal done for their property that would be affected. There is two viewpoints. The engineering firm feels that the appraisal is paid for by the homeowner. There was a question of whether or not it should be paid or it's paid for by the town. So they're working that out and I don't have any answers yet as of 4 o'clock today of what that would be. So just so you know, that would possibly be coming up in the future. And that's the only thing I have to do with that. Other than that, we've gotten all of our other little approvals. And the sewer project update. So besides the fact that we have new numbers, Jim, I think you have some CSA information for us that we received.
Yeah, I've been involved in the CSA discussions that have been going on every Monday night between the private beaches and WPCA. And I can't say it's been smooth. There's been some
Thank you.
tension. We're meeting again tonight, so I don't want to say too much about it. I'm still holding out hope, but the notion of the Soundview representative has been very controversial, even though it's been on the agenda for a year. The Water Pollution Control Authority Chair, Steve Tsunami, agreed to it a year ago in this forum. And it still seems to be a problem. I just want to point out that we talk about this as being a town project. The town is only essentially a pass-through entity. It's a shell corporation in terms of this project. It's the people of Soundview who will pay for it. The private beaches, by statute, get their own representative, someone who lives in their communities. So most people I talk to don't think it's completely unreasonable to say that someone from Soundview should be on the committee for this. But it's controversial and it's setback after setback. And we've had the language in the CSA and it's been getting stripped out and it's been stripped out again. And I will stick with this as long as we need to, but there may be a certain point where that which we agreed to here in this forum, that would be the town's position. I'll wait for the resolution on that to see if there is agreement between the town and the WPCA still, or if we are in two different camps. And if we can get agreement with the private beaches, there's been agreement in principle all along. There's agreement at the end of the meetings, but then when we get the revised document, it does not reflect that agreement, and there's been resets involved. So it's frustrating. So we're essentially in the same place we were the last time I reported.
Mhm.
And then with these numbers that came in, I just want to point out that Deep, when they used to have a affordability equation, this is clearly well north of that. And they would have the construction and the operations and maintenance numbers rolled into what their consideration would be as to whether it was affordable. They would not include connection to the street, from the house to the street. So if we strip that out, we're still at about 2,800 per EDU, which is what they used to consider not affordable. They tell us now that whether we're polluting or not, whether, even if we don't pollute, there's a potential of pollution. And in that case, that being the case, there's no such thing as unaffordability. I just want to point out that these numbers are more than what they considered affordable on the last round. And that's why the project didn't happen. It had to be rebid on the last round. The other thing I would point out is that the federal administration has been talking about stripping away clean water funds, defunding that project, clawing back those funds. And we've seen the president do this time and again. He essentially, with the consent of Congress, I guess, can decide in the morning to take away clean water funds or take away any funds. That's pretty much how we're running. So I just want to put that out there. You can look it up. There's newspaper articles about that. White House wants to cut it by 90%. Senate wants to cut it by 60%. So if that happens, Deep's new position that nothing is unaffordable, this could be doubled. Instead of talking about 3,000, we could be talking about 6,000 a year. So instead of a total of 60,000, a total of 120,000. I don't know if Deep wants to reconsider their position that Mr. Fowler has been expressing through the newspapers, or if they want to double down on it. But I just want to put that out there for the public to realize. Thanks.
So I have not seen anything in writing from Deep about the affordability issue. I've not received anything. I know that Mr. Fowler has been vocal in the press, but I have not received anything from him stating anything about it, nor in my discussions with the assistant deputy commissioner and Nisha. I have not also heard anything about affordability issues. And I did ask about the 1997 booklet that had the affordability issues in it. I asked the assistant director assistant deputy commissioner, and she said, no, that book hasn't been republished since 1997. So
28 years.
If that booklet is still the only thing that we have to go on, I don't understand why those rules don't pertain, because they haven't updated it. So I would question that, and we can certainly send a letter from the three of us questioning that. A joint letter from all three of us saying, so let's get down to brass tacks and say, and include the HRT report and say, what do you say? What do you say?
This is a new position that Mr. Fowler has been taking. It certainly wasn't the position of Deep 2 years ago. So
No.
It'd be interesting to see when exactly that's changed.
Yeah.
And I've been told that,
And as you say, you haven't seen it in writing.
No.
I've been told that Deep has been following this through newspaper articles, and they're displeased with me, and we should
Displeased with you?
that we should get on the stick.
Are you surprised?
To get on the stick and move this project along. So I just want to point it out yet again that we still don't have bids from Old Lyme Shores.
Mhm.
If those come in too high, this project cost could go up.
Mhm.
We still haven't nailed down the CSA, and that is not any fault of the towns. There are a lot of other issues that are being discussed. So we have not delayed this for a second. We're going through the process in good faith.
So our bonding attorney received the draft of the CSA today, and I know that he has already redlined it and sent it back to Steve Tsunami with his comments. The draft version was not sent to our town attorney, but I kept waiting to see if another email would come in with his name on it, but it was not. It seems that somehow I get the feeling that there are people who believe that I don't need the advice of my town attorney, or we don't need the advice of our town attorney on signing this. And I think that,
When it comes to something like this, I think we need the advice.
right. And we have to stay strong and say, this is what we need. So the people who are negotiating this agreement need to understand that we have a part in this. And although we are not paying for part of this project, the people that we represent are, and we are going to stay firm on those issues. So I know there's a meeting tonight, and Jim, I know that for the CSA, I know you were invited. I was told I couldn't come if you were coming. And so
Yeah, you can certainly take this
I don't
one if you
really
want to,
want
Martha.
to.
It's all you.
you know it better than I do, backwards and forwards. But I think there should be information relayed to them. Also, I just want you to know that I did have a phone call from Steve Tsunami on Friday, and we talked about a possible referendum date. He was not happy to learn that there are some rules. Once you have an election in November, tabulators have to be locked for so long. These things have to take place, and tabulators have to be reset. And it's a process. And then there's this thing called Thanksgiving that comes into play, and that throws you off for a few days. So then we found out that the Secretary of State also requested that our registrars attend a mandatory training in December. That's 2 weeks that they'll be wrapped up with time. And I am reminded by our registrars that this is a part-time position. It is a stipend position. It's not paid hourly. And we have to be responsible to know that they have other jobs and that they fulfill. And so working this out, this is the letter that I sent you both a copy from Kathy Carter that typed this out for me this afternoon. We met briefly just to go over it. But basically, their timeline is that we could have Board of Finance, Board of Selectmen meetings on December 11th. We would have to notify our town clerk then, and we'd be going to referendum by the 16th. The town meeting would to move the referendum. And remember, this is a pass-through town meeting. It's not a true town meeting. Would be January 6th, and then the referendum would be held on the 13th of January. Please also note that if there was a storm, a winter storm, the storm to end all storms, as Kathy Carter said today, we would still be required to hold the referendum. And even if only 5 people arrived, it would still count. And that is.
Could it be remote though?
No, this is the referendum.
Okay, so it has to be in person.
Person.
So are absentee ballots available for that?
They would have, this would all be worked into this timeline
Okay.
because of 12/16 to the 13th.
Would the Selectmen's meeting and Board of Finance be allowed remote?
Oh, if we had to have a remote
In
hybrid,
December?
we could.
Because
Yeah.
I will not be here.
Okay.
Thank you.
You could.
That's assuming we're all,
It could very well be. I won't
wait,
be
we
here.
could all be out.
But
Okay. So
we don't know, but this is a good timeline for you to share with people, and we'll
so it's the
make this
earliest.
part of, we'll put this out in the minutes so that people are aware of this is where we are.
And then our town meeting is a few weeks.
And
2
then,
weeks
oh,
later.
and then the other thing is that absentee ballots would have to start being sent out according
Christmas
to
Day.
Christmas Day.
Yep.
So, Vicky wasn't really excited about that, but she
Nobody was.
getting clarification from the state if, what happens if your days fall into a holiday.
She'll
Now,
find
for
it out.
the pass-through town meeting, the one on the 6th, are absentee ballots applicable to that as well, or just for the referendum?
Don't know.
Town meeting, there's no real vote at that town meeting. It's just literally the three of us voting at that
Okay,
town meeting.
Good,
Oh,
If they were
okay.
moving it to referendum,
That'd be-
it's a pass-through meeting.
got it.
It's the way it was done back in 2019
So-
when
so-
Bonnie was,
So we would have a BOS meeting to send it to the BOF,
Right.
and then we would have a subsequent BOS meeting? That's what
No.
that meeting on the 6th is?
no, sorry. The 6th is a town meeting to move
Right,
to
The
referendum.
town meeting, that one, does that meeting have an absentee ballot?
It
component?
doesn't, no, there's no,
Because it's just us.
it's the three of us.
Okay,
The resolution is written.
We have we vote
okay,
We vote.
All right.
to pass it.
I think
Right.
the last time the meeting lasted 7 minutes
okay.
to pass it the last time. It's a very quick pass-through meeting. So that is where we are with that.
Thank you.
Any other questions on sewer project updates?
No.
Okay, so we have selectmen's general discussion. Jude,
I'm
anything?
good.
Jim, do you have anything?
Yeah, I was hoping we could bring it up in a different format. And I'm addressing this to Jude because I just want you to clarify something. And some of the campaign stuff, when you kicked off the campaign, the first statement and in the ad, you talked about backroom land deals in
Mhm.
Tanamahig. That can only be an accusation of something that I'm doing. So I'd like you to explain what that means.
I don't necessarily think that was a backroom deal. I think you're referring to Tanamaheg.
Right. And it wasn't, Randy
Mhm.
Nixon talked about that and you were at Tanamahig when you said that in your ad. So,
I was at Watch Rock when I said it.
okay.
The, I felt that there were a number of things that happened in conversations with people in town that I wasn't privy to, that I had heard from the public as being promises made to them. And, I don't know if we want to get into this now.
Yeah, I think we should.
I had an occasion once with Martha about an appointment to a committee, and that someone who spoke at a board meeting publicly, not public like this, but said she had been promised a position. And I've heard comments from Mr. Frampton that a deal was made from him and that he was going to be appointed to committees. And being part of a selectman board, I was surprised to hear that things like that had been said or stated. On one occasion, I brought something up to Martha about it, and it came to a Board of Selectmen meeting. And Martha said, I'd like to comment before this goes forward that my administration chooses not to operate like this, and I promise it won't happen again. So I felt like deals were being made that I was not included in decisions on.
Well, that one position didn't happen and you knew that.
It did happen.
First of all, backward land deals is different than, we're talking about backward land
No, I
deals,
said back room, not backward.
land deals. So what is the land deal that we're? back-
I had been told that conversations were continuing without my knowledge regarding Tanamaheg Landing.
Well, that's not true because you have been at all 8 executive sessions.
I have.
We have updated you of everything.
Right.
I mean, most of it is done by Jim.
I know that there have been meetings at certain board and committee members on other things besides Tanamaheg that are, appear to be based on attendance, private meetings on certain things in town.
Like what?
Like, I feel like I'm being interrogated here.
Well, if you
Well, I mean,
have
these are
some-
accusations against our integrity, so I think they need. to
Well,
be
I
backed up.
also feel that I've been excluded from many decisions that were made collectively as a board here that I'm not happy with. Decisions were made that, whether it's the 4th of July or other things that I have no hearing of or say of, whether it be a grant application, things. I'm not told, I go to a public works lunch and then I was told the invitation came to the town hall and was to be shared with us. Didn't happen.
That was not the case. I was told about it literally from that Tim had stopped in and said to Katie, does Martha want to come? That was it. It wasn't shared with me to share with both of you. I only knew that I was invited. That was it. And
Well,
I feel
it was
let's-
Tim
Yeah,
invited.
let's drill down on this Tam Mahake thing because, you know, it just,
I'm really not going to sit here and
Well, I will,
Oh,
do what
okay.
he said, she said. with
okay,
you, Jim.
okay, all right. Well, you know,
Okay.
we do have, you know, it is on the record, not that you consider Tam Mahake to be a backroom land deal. So because that's a challenge to my integrity, I just want to make clear to everybody that obviously with the permission of the town and with your knowledge, I was having conversations with Mr. Frampton to negotiate a memorandum of understanding. That was negotiated between him and myself and our attorneys. And at every step of the way in executive session, you were informed and your opinion was solicited. And there were certain things that were deal breakers I could not present to Mr. Frampton, other things that we didn't like, we would maybe consider, but that whole process you're involved in. As soon as Frampton and our attorneys signed off on it, you saw that memorandum of understanding. And the
Mhm.
first thing that I did when that was approved is go to the opponents of this and present it to them and saying, look, this is coming down the road.
Mhm.
I went to the neighbors, you know, to people who have written in, who don't like me and don't like the MOU. I presented it to them first. I presented it to Harbor Management. And then we had public meeting where it was presented. And the discussion and the vote was later. So I think the notion, and, you know, if you want to get into rumors, I've heard what was being said about big Democratic politicians and, you know, getting bought off and stuff like that. I'm not even going to address it. I'm going to address this notion that it's a backroom land deal. And I resent it. I really do. And
I'm
you know.
sorry you resent it, but I also was caught by surprise when I was informed that conversations were continuing outside of this room with George Frampton and one or both of you.
you are aware that we've had these conversations. We talked about that in executive session.
Oh, so,
Jim Talberg has told you when I have been involved with a conversation with him and Mr. Frampton.
so why are we discussing this publicly if we're not supposed to be discussing
Yeah.
anything?
We're
just letting you
discussing
know
an
that you
accusation.
were-
It's a backroom land deal. And I think you've been informed every step of the way as to what the deal was and the public was informed. And now there is
Okay,
no.
well, you
Now
have
there is no
your,
deal.
what you, I understand your perspective and I understand mine.
Do understand that I've gotten 2 phone calls this week from people, and I'm not saying where it's coming from, but please understand that I do not know anything about any type of, one person said that you said it, but I know nothing about this. That there was some type of fundraiser given to Senator Blumenthal or
I know
and
nothing
can
about
I
that.
just finish?
Yes,
And with Senator Murphy, and that they were calling me and telling me not to do anything. And I just want you to know that I have not received any phone calls from either one of them on this topic, nor was I ever invited to any fundraiser by Mr. Frampton for either of those people. I would not be on a big ticket item like that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, it was repeated by Mr. Atkinson at his
Mr. Atkinson sent me an email inviting me to
I
his
know.
house. I said I didn't think that was appropriate and I would not be there.
I'm just saying that at that meeting, you were quoted by
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
I just want you to know so that you can clear that up with him so that it doesn't go any farther. Okay, do we have anything else? If not, I need a motion to adjourn at 6:45.
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you.